Happy post-Valentine's Day, my friends. I hope you got to enjoy it with those close to you, those that you love. Much love to my wife. Thank you so much for all that you do for not only this company, but for me as a human freaking being. I would not be who I am, and probably not even on this great earth, if it weren't for you, my love. Much love. Thank you so much for everything. All right, 5 minutes with Sean, maybe 10, the mid-February edition. We're building off last week's show about the winter break that I take. It's been a couple years since I've been able to take it. Weather has not allowed us to do so, but this year it did, and the trails were the best they've ever been. Snowmobiling was the best it ever was, until it wasn't, my friends, and that is how snowmobiling goes. We do a lot. We do about 200 miles a day. It was a lot on the snowmobile, 180, 190 in that realm. And so we were out on our third day, our last day of big riding. And all of a sudden I came out of a pack of snow and saw some deer in the middle of the trail. So I had to hit my brakes. And then after that, my sled started acting a little funny. And then it just got funnier and funnier, and ended up dying on me about 40 miles from my hotel, which, most of the people who live in big time, communities, big cities don't think anything of that, like 40 miles from anywhere they can get back. But where we were in the upper peninsula of Michigan, damn near at Lake Superior, that is not as easy of a get. As a matter of fact, they do not have an Uber. They know the one Uber driver by name, and he was never coming out in that weather. And so life gets weird. So the sled dies about 8 miles from where we were having dinner and about 40 miles from where I rest my head. Once the sled dies, you don't really have a choice. So I jump on the back of my business partner's 73-year-old father's sled. Now, this man is an absolute fucking snowmobile legend. I would have never done this with anyone else in the world. Jumping on the back of his sled, it was 8 miles of craziness, because it's not meant for two people. And there's a lot of sliding, a lot of slipping, and a lot of moving. And during that ride, I thought to myself, I'm going to have to figure something out. This is not going to work for us to get the next 32 miles after this back to the hotel. It's just not. It's not obtainable. And so we all got together and we had dinner and we talked about it. And the consensus was, yes, this is a bad idea. So I began to talk with some folks inside the bar, and they were the ones that educated me on Uber, because I pulled up my Uber app and it said there was one available. It was expensive, $100 and whatever, $20, whatever it was. But I was like, okay, well, I don't have a choice. I have to do this, because the other choice is that my group rides back the 40 miles. Then they hop in a car, come back 50 minutes in snow, maybe more, to come get me. Then we turn around, drive back 50 minutes to the hotel. We're talking about probably literally like 4-hour turn. It was already 7. So it's not really about the lateness of the day. It's about, we've been out doing sledding all day. It's been a long day as is, and you just don't need that sort of headache. And so this bar restaurant we were in, we love it. We've been going into it for a decade. It's a great place. But recently, it had, in years previous, had gone through a little bit of owner changes, a little bit of weirdness. But when we showed up on the first day, on Monday of our trip, we went in there, and there was a new owner sitting at the bar, and guy couldn't have been nicer, and was really wonderful. It was on Monday. Well, this happens on Wednesday night, my sled. And so I remembered him. And so I walked up to him and I said, hey, man, do you know anyone who might be able to offer a ride? And he's like, man, I'll check around, but geez, I can't even think about it. And then the bartender came over and explained the Uber thing, because he's intimate. He knows intimate details of the area. And so I was like, okay, cool, no big deal. So I went back to my table with the team, and I'm like, guys, we're kind of screwed here. We're going to have to do the whole, you guys go down, you guys come back, I'll wait it out. We had another brief debate about maybe doing the ride out. And I was like, guys, it's not a thing. Like, it's not a thing. It's nothing. It's not safe. And I have a back injury that, if I were to fall off a sled, could cost me dearly. And so it just wasn't worth it. And so I said, man, I'll take one more run at it. And here's what I love about here's what I love about this trip. It shows the power of cash still, and it shows the power of humanity when inspired by said cash. So I walk over to the owner and I said, hey, man, if you got anybody, works here, around here, that's, in need of a quick 100, that's what I'll offer up for the drive to get me back. $100 cash, here we go. And the owner of the bar was like, well, it's not really what I need. And then he starts mulling around, talking to other people, having other conversations, walking past the table, talking to other people. And so I said to my guys, I said, guys, I think cash may have at least, clicked the bulb on this deal. And the dude comes over about 15 minutes later in the middle of us having some food. And he goes, hey, I'll warm the truck up and I'll get you out of here. And I said, what? And he goes, yeah, man, I'll take the bartender's truck and I'll get you out of here and we'll do it for you. God, I yell in the middle of the restaurant, unbelievable people. This is great. Thank you so much. And, restoring my faith in humanity is lately it has been challenged. And little did I know that I would hop in a truck with a dude who is 10 years older than me and basically dropping the knowledge in the moment that I need to hear. And I am not someone who believes in coincidence. Life is as it is expected. And so good, bad, or ugly. And so there are no coincidences. And it was no coincidence that my sled died in a gas station parking lot when it could have died in the middle of fucking nowhere. It is no coincidence that we went to a tavern that had good people running it. It is no coincidence that I thought to myself, let's offer up money. Let's do the right thing because that's what motivates. And it did. And this guy, man, Rob, owner of the Root Cellar on Lake Gogebic, and I want to say it's probably technically Marinesco, maybe not, up by Bergwin, in the UP. That's where my sled died, was Bergwin. And this dude, he was basically telling me, as a business owner, he's a business owner, I'm a business owner. Decide how much you actually need in your life. And once you realize what you need, everything else becomes simpler. And I thought to myself, holy shit, I've been having these internal debates. I've been thinking about this myself. Spend your money while you're alive. Don't worry about your 401k. Now, that line strikes me at my core because I've never believed in savings, but my wife is an absolute saving machine and has set me up for a lifetime of savings and ability to pretty much do as I please because she's been diligent for 20 fucking years with every dollar in this place. Yeah, it's her lane. I stay out of it. I am a man who knows and has no ATM card, and I don't ask questions about things. I meet once a year with her and our financial advisor, and every year I'm like, holy shit, look at what this woman has accomplished. That's it. I let her run her lane. It is not my business. The same thing goes with my business. If I let you come on board and have you run a department, I let you pretty much run that department. I mean, Garen, I'm a little bit tough at full control give up, but I let you run it. So anyways, I'm in this truck. I'm listening to this dude where it's 50-minute drive, fucking dumping snow. This guy's out of his way. And I said, man, I really appreciate you doing this. He said, man, I appreciate you offering $100. I thought to myself, what does a guy with this dude's resources need $100 for? And then he tells me the $100 is for the bartender. That's why he took his truck. His trucks are hooked up to snowmobile sleds. That's what happened up there. But he's like, dude, I'm going to give the $100 to him. I own a business. I'm worth millions of dollars. I don't give a shit. I thought, holy cow. Everything this guy does, he's not taking any money out of his company. He's giving it all to his wife. His wife's a little bit younger than he is, and he wants her to be able to be set up and have her own business. And she's running it. I watched her run it. I watched her doing a great job. They got a young child there. She's involved. It's adorable, man. It's an unbelievable lifestyle. It is one that I aspire to. And I'm at a time in my life where I'm starting to realize stepping back is the road to go. And I never thought it was possible. Then I have a 50-minute ride with Rob, who absolutely saved my hide and allowed me to not have to sit in a tavern. Not that I minded, but I don't want to sit somewhere for 4 hours if I don't have to. And to go out of his way for humanity, for people to people, I'm forever grateful. Rob, Root Cellar, and the team there, I really, really, really thank you so much. So that's how I feel with restored humanity, is that there still is power in people and maybe in the almighty dollar. Thank you all so much for joining me this week. I hope you have a great week, and we'll do it all again next week. See you then.